Yeah, yo, YouTube, there's a new project in town. It's not my work. I take zero credit or anything, but some beautiful, brilliant individual, dude named Scott, has figured out how to get super CPU code to run on the RAD and turn this thing into a super CPU emulator. I was having some trouble with it. I posted a message. He asked for more info on what I was seeing and what I was testing with and all that, so I figured I would just do a quick video run through what I'm doing and what I'm seeing, and maybe he'll have some brilliant ideas on what I'm doing wrong. Look, it all comes down to bus timing as far as video getting or the RAM getting delivered to the video. I It's got to be what it is. Everything that's wrong with a Commodore has to do with timing. The timing is a nightmare in these things, especially when you start modding them. So I'm going back to basics, have a mostly stock system here. This does have aftermarket the SID kick. Yeah, that's right. That's the SID kick. But this has an 82S100. This is a date code of 1999. These are not original 82S100s back from the 80s. Somebody was selling these, I don't know, a year or two ago on Facebook or wherever the hell I bought it from. But these have proven to be pretty reliable, I think, as far as timing is concerned and everything else. I did have a GAL PLA in here, and it was worse. This definitely was an improvement. So we'll go through some of the head case machines that have all kinds of mods, but I wanted to get back to basics here. So it's a 6569 R5 VIC, real CIAs, real ROMs, a real 6510. This computer did have MOS logic at one point in its life, so these were the 7708s, I think they were. So now there's real LS257s in there. That's a real LS258 in there. And the 139 was socketed as well, because I used to have an address decoder in there. But, back to basics here. Let's run through some of these machines and see how they behave. The RAD is pre-booted off its own power supply, and this machine ran well in basic. It's when I try to do things that would exercise the VIC too much that I'd have problems. So, oh wait, it did not boot. Hang on, let me make sure I got everything plugged in well. This may not be seated correctly. There we go. Alright, that should be better. Let's give the RAD a second to come around. And this is all fairly normal so far. And there we go, Super CPU splash screen. Yeah. And yeah, it works. It can pull directories off the SD to IEC, all that good stuff. And then if I go to load Super Mario Brothers, because it's the only Super CPU aware software I think I have, it loads up and corrupts as soon as the VIC goes to do something. But then this screen is fine. So it's obviously getting good data from the IEC device through the CPU and into the RAM, but the VIC just can't cope. Now, in all fairness, I'm not blaming the Super CPU project at all for this. I've had nothing but problems with these RAD things. I'm not a huge fan. I've gotten them to work. I had to screw around with timing from, I don't know, it took hours to find timing on a particular machine. Then you take this, plug it in another machine, and it doesn't work again. So it's like, it's just too frustrating. So yeah, anyway, that's what it does in this machine. We will go sample a few more computers of varying configurations just to see how it behaves. Alright, this computer is another 425 board. Real VIC. I think it's an R8, a 6567 R8. This is an NTSC machine. Does have an aftermarket ROM, but again, real CIAs, real CPU, real SID, real PLA. Has RF mods stuff done to it, but should not affect timing at all. And the RAD is once again booted up on its own power supply and pre-booted. So let us turn on the machine and see what it does. This one I don't believe I have tested with yet. Oh, that did not look pretty. Oh, there we go. Alright, we're booted. Oh, yeah. That is data bus corruption. So, I found the RADs are more pissy with NTSC machines than they are PAL machines. And I think that comes from the fact that the timings are tighter on the NTSC machines because of the faster clock. You know, the master 1.022 clock. So, look, there it goes, clears up. So, we know it's going to crash, but yeah, this one's actually corrupting the data bus, not even having to do with the VIC. So let's see if it loads. I'm not hopeful. Similar corruption does kind of clear up. Ugh. That's gross. Oh yeah, that's bad. And then it crashes. So, alright, on to the next. Alright, next subject here is the C64 EVO. This is the earlier EVO, the January 23 Model 1. This one has a ton of weird shit going on in it too, so first and foremost, EVOs have SRAM, and SRAM is what it is. I mean, people say it's the best thing in the world, but honestly, I run into more timing issues on modded systems with SRAM than I do on old school DRAM. I pulled the Quarry out of this because the Quarry was causing the RAD to like barely boot at all. This does have the later gen VIC in it. It's an 8565 R2. Has JCIAs, a JCPU. Yeah, I think that's all there is to say about that here. This is just a control module for the dip switches and stuff that you would normally have on this machine. This doesn't interact with the data bus at all, so you can ignore the Pico. And yeah, let me get him all plugged in, see what he does. All right, fire in the hole. Whoa, trippy. Yeah, that's bad. But then that looks perfect. Wonderful. Directory. Yeah, we have artifacting. Let's plug in the joystick. Yeah, that is some corruption. Is it gonna go? No, I think it crashed. Yeah, the SD to IEC is not blinking. It is dead. This computer does have a reset button. We'll try one more time. Yeah, I think this is actually trashing the data bus, not just the VIC reads and writes, but the actual data bus between the CPU and main RAM. So, yeah, it won't even load. I swear at one point I got it to load once, but tons of corruption and artifacts only ran for a few seconds. But anyway, onward and upward. Let's go find another test subject. Now, this machine is very much a basket case. It's not the worst that I have, but it's pretty basket casey. Where do we start? Well, I guess over here. This has JCIAs. It does have a real 6510 CPU in it. GAL PLA, FPGA SID. This is an address decoder that breaks out. Oh, this is a modded one. So D000 and D100 go to the VIC. D400 goes to that socket, and then everything else is broke out on these pins here, so I can play with it. This is a 250466 style memory section with only 2 chips, but it is kind of a 407-ish board, Melius board. And most importantly, the Quarry. I had a lot of timing problems on this computer with various different carts, the Ultimate cart and some other ones too. And lo and behold, if you look back on any of my old videos and stuff, I always had a lot of problems with the 3.3 volt clock the v0 clock that comes out of the Kawari. This one is buffered. I don't know if you can see that down there. This is a shitty camera, but down in there, that itty-bitty little blue board sticking out of there, that's one of those BSS 138 level shifters, so I'm taking the 3-volt clock out of the VIC before it hits the board and goes to the CPU, and I run it through this to turn it into a 5-volt clock. That's what feeds the v0 input onto the CPU, and then v2 comes out of here like normal and goes all over the place. So anyway, yeah, this clock helped with clock issues in the past. Without it, I could never get the RAD to work at all on this computer. Once I did that, I was able to get the RAD to work, but I had to screw with the timings a lot on the RAD, you know, the default timings in the config file. So here we will boot him. This is all fairly normal so far. And it boots. But we have some screen artifacting. And the Kawari is in PAL mode right now. We'll try again in NTSC mode, but... Alright. Yeah, that's pretty glitchy. But it is loading. And it actually looks better than a stock machine. The stock machine was all garbled here. That's impressive. I thought this was going to be the crashiest, to be honest. Yeah, that's not good. Oh yeah, glitchy, glitchy. But it did run for a sec. So let us remove that jumper. Now it'll boot as NTSC. Fired right up. It's less glitchy scrolling in BASIC. Learn how to type, dude. Ooh. SEA. But it is loading. Alright, so it never updated the screen, but it did start loading. Like, something's delayed in the VIC part of the world. It wasn't able to actually draw searching for and loading on the screen before it actually started loading. And it's hung here. Oh no? Oh, there we go. Holy shit. Super slow-mo. Yeah, that's trippy. But it is running. I wonder why the hell it slowed down so much. You know, I did not reboot the RAD SuperCPU between these tests for the sake of being a good quality assurance tester. Let's reboot the RAD. Searching for and loading was displayed on the screen. The screen looks better. Still glitchy here and there. But all in all, not terrible. Yeah, that's bad. It might have been slightly less bad than PAL mode, which, first of all, I'm surprised so far this computer's our winner. You know, or the worst not loser? I don't know. But in NTSC mode to boot, it seemed there was a little less graphic glitchiness. And honestly, I thought NTSC and this machine was going to be the worst. So maybe all my assumptions are wrong. Anyway, let's go see if we got one more machine to play with. If not, we'll probably wrap it here. But yeah, you know what? I got one more ridiculous machine to try. Alright, now this machine is a complete and total flippin' psychopath, but honestly, I don't expect this one to really work at all. With or without a CPU, for that matter. But yeah, this thing's modded to hell, has all kinds of shit in it. It's got a meatloaf wired directly into the IEC bus. It is buffered, so I guess it's not direct, but v0 is buffered. JCPU, GAL PLA, has a modem in it, address decoder. Could put SRAM in this and see what it does, but again, 466 style RAM with just the 2 chips instead of 8. And we're not even going to talk about the power section. But I'm going to do something cool with that soon. I just ordered some junk on AliExpress last night. Alright. I've turned it on. Oh, we probably should have done that first. Fuck, it booted. Alright, hang on. I want to watch it boot. Ooh, not well. But it did boot. Oh, this could be very angry because of the meatloaf in there. Let me unplug that from the IEC bus. They might have been stepping on each other. Yeah. But that's okay. I think I have Super Mario on this thing. Yes. Whoa. Yeah, that's bad. I can't say I'm surprised coming out of this computer. This thing's a timing frickin' nightmare. Same kind of jittery left and right. Yeah, that's bad. Alright. Is there anything else we can do on here? Oh yeah, this is... We can kick this into the other video mode by moving that dip switch. Alright. Alright, we are now in PAL. Alright, see, it never updated the screen, but it is definitely loading. There we go. Yeah, same kind of glitchiness. Alright, this is with the GAL PLA 2 to boot, and I know there's timing differences between the GAL and some of the other ones. Yeah, it just up and died on us. Just for grins... Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot. I can't remove the PLA from this computer because it is hardwired into that chip. So, all right, let's not talk about that. I was going to try to swap a PLA, but that's not happening. So, all right, anyway, I guess we'll wrap it here. That's what I got. So hopefully Scott will understand what the hell it is I'm doing wrong and be able to educate me and hopefully tweak some timings on this, get this thing to work a little better. So I'll put links to the GitHub project and Scott's Facebook page. He was looking for people to play around and test. So if you have different machines to try on, jump into the group, jump on Facebook or on GitHub, and we'll see you there. So anyway, good luck, Scott. You're awesome. Thank you for doing this project. And I think you also did the CMD hard drive thing. That is freaking cool too. We'll have to play with that at some point also. Anyway, take care. Appreciate it.